Now you're reviewing with power! Modern games, retro games, what's the difference? I'm here to review games, and make a complete fool out of myself in the process. Whether a gem or a turd, I'll show you these games inside and out. You ready? Balrog's Nintendo Game Room. Hey guys, welcome to Balrog's Nintendo Game Room, where you saw this all in the intro. Anyway, this is the first episode of a new weekly segment I'll be doing. Well, more rebooted, since my old reviews God, what was I on? So here's the rules. I review one game a week, as long as it's ever been on a Nintendo system, and I let you know if it's worth your time or not. Simple enough, right? Well, without further ado, let's get to our feature presentation today. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. Cue the transition, Wario. I hate you. So back in the early 90s, RPGs weren't exactly all that popular in the US. Yeah, we had Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy and all that, but none of them could hold a candle to the success Japan had. So Squaresoft had to think long and hard about a new way to reach out to the world, and from that spawned Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. What did the company think was the problem, you might ask? They thought we were all idiots. So the plot here is quite simple, almost insultingly simple compared to other Final Fantasies. Monsters steal the 4 crystals, keeping the world in balance, and you, the chosen hero, must defeat these monsters and restore balance. I'm not jipping you anywhere, that's it. Yes, you meet some allies along the way that you can fight with, and they have their own little stories, but they're all practically NPCs. I've had stronger emotional bonds to a Subway sandwich than these guys. And the dialogue, it's laughably bad. So bad that I can't even tell if it's intentional or not. Really makes me wonder. But now you're probably thinking, Balrog, why would they make an RPG and put no emphasis on characters or story? Well, as you can tell, Mystic Quest was a beginner's RPG. See, it even says right on the cover. The point of the game was to make an extremely bare-bones version of Final Fantasy, to appeal to gamers who maybe don't want to spend 50 hours on the next epic quest. It's supposed to be a sword right there. If anything, they ended up making an RPG that anyone could pick up and play, which is also a double-edged sword. Newcomers and kids will love the game for its simplicity, but veteran gamers will feel like they're playing Fisher-Price My First RPG. So anyway, with all that in mind, let's get straight to the review. Now first up is fun. Despite having almost zero customization, Mystic Quest is actually really fun to play. There's something about plowing monsters in a dungeon and saving the world that's somewhat charming. Yes, random encounters are axed to on-screen static monsters and optional grinding spaces. Yes, there's only a handful of weapons and armor that just replace each other when you get a stronger one. Yes, the game is insultingly linear and the HP bar... Ugh! How stupid does this game think I am? At least you can change it. But the fun little puzzles, the interactive environments, and fun, if a bit repetitive gameplay almost makes up for it. It's not something you'll do in one sitting, but as a pick up and play game, Square definitely succeeded. For better or for worse. Check. Second up is looks. The game actually looks pretty clean. The sprites aren't bad, the scenery is pretty well done, and the battle sprites changing as you fight more looks pretty neat. And really funny. I mean, come on, how can you not laugh at this? The dude looks like a melted... I don't even. Though it plays pretty safe, they're not actually that bad to look at. Check. Third up is sound. You're gonna think I'm crazy for this, but this is actually my favorite video game soundtrack. Ever. The cool thing about the music is it doesn't need sappy or emotional songs in it, since story plays an almost non-existent role. This game and this music constantly wants to make you feel like a badass, even though all you're doing is just tapping A. And the instruments. Do you hear those instruments? Excuse me. I need to catch my breath. Check plus. And fourth up is length. Now since this game cuts almost all of the exploration and grinding people either love or hate from RPGs, the game's only about 8 to 10 hours long. It's a satisfying experience even though you won't do it in one sitting, but still, for an RPG, this is embarrassingly short, and no real reason to come back. Check minus. In conclusion, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest was an experiment in the West. Cut everything, and I mean everything unnecessary in an RPG, and make it an approachable, casual game. But you see, Square didn't realize that you can make a game this simple yet have some depth for RPG veterans. The problem with RPGs outside of Japan wasn't exactly the difficulty, it just hadn't caught on yet, and it wouldn't until Final Fantasy VII 5 years later. But at least because of this game's commercial failure, Square became aware, and continued to localize JRPGs like Secret of Mana, and RPGs slowly grew to what they are today. But anyway, if you're looking for a good time waster and you go in with the right mindset, Mystic Quest could definitely be up your alley. Unless you're into more meaty RPGs, then you might just want to get the soundtrack. So this game gets a check, and a good. Sorry about the terrible handwriting. Alright, well that concludes my review. Hopefully you like this kind of new segment, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you like what I do. And of course write in the comments about ways I can improve, or even suggest games I could do, because after next week, my fate is in all of your hands. So, in the meantime, this is Balrog signing out. It's heavy! Whew. Oh, I think I pulled a muscle. I think my hammy. My calves. Wait, my calves are in my legs. What am I talking about? Wario, what are you doing?